Good evening all. Namo Buddhaya. Therwan Saranai Sielu Denatama. Very warm welcome to our regular Saturday evening Dhamma Dana program hosted by Lecture Dhamma Niketane Buddhist Center. So Lecture Buddhist Dhamma Niketane Buddhist Center every Saturday evening host a special Dhamma Dana blessing program. Particularly this 3 months is very special as we are observing the 3 months rainy retreat. During this month of 3 months of retreat, every Saturday we hope to do a special Dhamma blessing program. If you would like to sponsor one of these programs, that would gain the highest blessings. Today we did not have a particular sponsor, but Miss Shelvi Sivasubramaniam has very kindly made a contribution towards the sponsorship of the program, and she would like to dedicate the blessings for the good health and protection. She in particular mentioned that during the last 18 months, she was going through, and all of us are going through difficult times, but these programs and the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha stood alone with all of us, which was a great strength. In particular, she mentioned that she did not have a TV or even a microwave or electric equipments for a good standard of living, but she is very grateful to the Buddha for his blessings and love to be with her during these difficult times. So she wanted to share these blessings with all of us today. So may the blessings be with Miss Shelvi Sivasubramaniam, and may she have all the blessings, all the good health, all the protection to gain the best of health and the progress in life, to find the peace and happiness in this very life. May the noble qualities of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha be with her. May she find the profound teaching of the Buddha to realize the value of this very life and find the happiness that Buddha always tried to share during our every aspect of suffering. It is very possible for all of us to find the happiness by practicing the right view, right thinking, right livelihood, right meditation. By adopting this way of life is a direct path as described in Buddhist teachings to gain the happiness and to overcome the suffering. So may the blessings be with Miss Shelvi Sivasubramaniam, and may she be well, happy and peaceful. May all her aspirations be fulfilled. Bearing this in our heart, now we are going to start our program today. To observe the 5 precepts, please say Namo Tassa 3 times.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
Saṅghaṃ saranam gacchāmi.
සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we will pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. May the blessings of the noble triple gem be with you all. හැම දිනාටම උතුම් තුනුරුවන් සරණ ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් මේ වස්සාන කාලයේ අපි හැම දිනාම තෙරුවන් වන්දනා කරමු. Let us pay our homage during this very special time of retreat. May the blessings of the noble triple gem be with you all for the good health and protection. With that, let us pay our homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ittipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavido anottaro purisa dhamma sarati sattā deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. බුද්ධං ජීවිතං
යාව නිම්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ
භගවතා ධම්මෝ සම්දිට්ඨිකෝ
අකාලිකෝ
ඒහි පස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ
පච්චත්තං
වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝහිති
ධම්මං ජීවිතං
යාව නිම්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි
සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ
ශාවක සංඝෝ
උජුපටිපන්නෝ
භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ
ඥායපටිපන්නෝ
භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ
සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ
භගවතෝ ශාවක
සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි
පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා
ඒස භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ
පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ
අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤං කෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සංඝං ජීවිතං යාව නිම්බානං සරණං
ගච්ඡාමි
වන්දාමි චේතියං සම්බං
සබ්බඨානේසු
පතින්තිතං සාරීරික ධාතු
මහා බෝධිං
බුද්ධ රූපං
සකලං සදා
යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව
සම්පාරි විජයං
අකාපත්තෝ සම්බං යුතං සත්තාවන්දේතං
බෝධිපාදපං
ඉමේ ඒතේ මහා බෝධි ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා අහං පිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධි රාජා නමන්තුතේ ඝනසාරප්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන දූපේනං
සුගන්ධිනා
පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජාභාජන
උත්තමං
වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස
සිරිපාද සරෝරුවේ
පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලභාමි
මොක්ඛම්
උප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ
භවං
සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං පසන්න මధుරං සුභං පානීය මේතං භගවා පතිගන්නෝතු උත්තම අදිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ සම්බං සද්ධාය පූජිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්නාතු කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කම මේ බන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන
පමාදේන මයා කතං
අච්චයං කම මේ ධම්ම
සංදිට්ඨික අකාලික
කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන
පමාදේන මයා කතං
අච්චයං කම මේ සංඝ
සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර
ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන
මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ
සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු
යාව
නිබ්බාන
නිබ්බාන
පත්තියා ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා
මහින්దికා
පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ටා ච
බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා
පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ටා ච
බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා
මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං
අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං
රක්칸තු මං පරන්ති ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු
සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ
ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු
සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ
ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු
සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ
සාදු සාදු සාදු. As we are attending to a very special time of blessings during these 3 months of retreat, every Saturday we meet for the blessings. Now we are going to have a 15 minutes Sinhala Dhamma sermon in Sinhala. Those who don't understand during that time, please sit in meditation and listen to the sound with the intention that you are listening to the teachings of the Buddha. It is a very good form of meditation called one of the protection of meditations. That you are meditating on the Dhamma, sounds of the Dhamma, listening to the Dhamma is a very important form of meditation. After this, we'll have a short chanting and then some English Dhamma sermons. මේ වෙලාවේදී මේ වස්සාන කාලයේ පැවැත්වෙන සෑම සෙනසුරාදා දිනකම පැවැත්වෙන දහම් ආශිර්වාද වැඩසටහනේ ධර්ම දානමය පින්කමේ සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන්නටයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒ සඳහා මා තාම ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා. ආතර දික්වැල්ල වැවරු කන්නල බුදුරජ මහා විහාරස්ථානයේ විද්‍යාතුංග පිරිවෙනේ පරිවෙනාධිපති වශයෙන් කටයුතු කළ මාතර වැවරු කන්නල විහාරස්ථානයේ වගේම ජර්මන් බෞද්ධ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ අනුශාසක වශයෙන් කටයුතු කරන අතිගෞරවනීය දික්වැල්ලේ සීල සුමන පඬිත් හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේට සිංහල ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වන ලෙස කවුරුත් ධර්මානුශාසනාවට ආරාධනාවක් වශයෙන් සාදුකාරයක් පවත්වමින් ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරන්න.
නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ගාමීවා යදිවාරඤ්ඤේ යම් පරේ සංමමායිතං තේයාදින්නං ආදියති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති. ගෞරවනීය හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ, දූදරුවනි, දෙමාපියනි, මාය මාතෘකා කළේ වසල සූත්‍රයේ සිව්වෙනි ගාථා ධර්මය. ඒ ගාථාවෙන් කියන අදහස තමයි ගමේ නැත්නම් වනයේ අනුන්ගේ ඒ මමත්වයේ තියෙන නොදෙන ලද දෙයක්, දුන්නේ නැති දෙයක්, යම් වස්තුවක් හොරහිතින් ගන්නවද ඔහු අසලෙක් කියන එකයි මේ ගාථාවෙන් කියවෙන අදහස. සොරකම ගැනයි මේ ගාථාවෙන් කියවෙන්නේ. ඒ බුදුදහමේ පංචශීල ප්‍රතිපත්තියේ අදින්නාදානා කියන ශික්ෂාපදයෙන් කියන්නේ ඒ සොරකම් නොකිරීමෙන් වැළකීම කියන ශික්ෂාපදයයි එතනින් කියවෙන්නේ. ඒ පංචශීලයේ දෙවෙනි ශික්ෂාපදය අදින්නාදානා කියලා හඳුන්වලා තියෙනවා. ඒක පාප ක්‍රියාවක්. අදින්නාදානා කියන ඒ පාලි වාක්‍යයේ නැත්නම් ඒ පාලි වදනේ සඳහන් වෙන පරිදි අදින් කියලා කියන්නේ අදින්න කියන්නේ නුදුන්, ආදාන කියන්නේ ගැනීම. අදින්න ආදාන කියන වචන දෙක ඇති වෙලා හැදිලා තමයි මේ අදින්නාදානා කියන පදය නිර්මාණය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. නුදුන් දෙය නැත්නම් නුදුන් දෙය ගැනීම නැත්නම් හොරකම කියන අර්ථය තමයි මේ වචනෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ. ඒ නුදුන් දෙය ගැනීම පාප ක්‍රියාවක් නැත්නම් පව් වැඩක් වගේම සදාචාර බවින් තොර අශීලාචාර ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියට තමයි අපේ ධර්මයේ සඳහන් කරන්නේ. දීයතිති දානං කියලා දක්වලා තියෙන ආකාරයට දීම පරිත්‍යාගය කියන එක පුණ්‍ය ක්‍රියාවක්. ඒ වගේම ඒක සදාචාර සම්පන්න සද්ගුණයක්, යහපත් ගුණයක්. මෙන්න මේ සද්ගුණය නැත්නම් මේ යහපත් ගුණය පිළිබඳව අපේ පෙළ දහමේ විචිත්‍ර දේශනාවන් ඇතුළත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ආමිස දාන, ධර්ම දාන, ඒ වගේම සත්පුරුෂ දාන කියලා විවිධ වූ විස්තර ඇතුළත් දාන ප්‍රභේද දක්වලා තියෙනවා. අදින්නාදානා කියන නැත්නම් ඒ හොරකම කියන දේ නැත්නම් නුදුන් දේ ගැනීම, ඒ වැළකීම, ඒ නුදුන් දේ ගැනීමෙන් වැළකීම සිව්වන පිරිසටම භික්ෂු භික්ෂුණී උපාසක උපාසිකා කියන ඒ සිව්වන පිරිසටම විවිධාකාරයෙන් තහනම් කරලා තියෙනවා. අපේ ධර්මයේ තුල ඒ සිව්වන පිරිසටම තහනම් කරපු ශික්ෂා පදයක් ඇටියට පනවල තියෙන දෙයක් තමයි අදින්නාදානා කියන එක නැත්නම් සොරකම කියන එක. ඒ නුදුන් දේ ගැනීම කියන ඒ ශික්ෂා පදයේ යටතේ තහනම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ තවත් දෙයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් යන්න මේ මධ්‍යම නිකායේ සාලීයක සූත්‍රයේදී පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ සූත්‍රයේ සඳහන් වෙනවා පරස්ස පරවිත්තුප්පකරණං ගාමගතං වා අරඤ්‍යගතං වා කියන ප්‍රකාශයක්. ඒකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ ගමේ එහෙම නැත්නම් වනයේ නැත්නම් කැලෑවේ අන්සතු සම්පත් උපකරණ ඒ නුදුන් දෙය සොරසිතින් නොගන්නව නම් අන්න ඒක තමයි යහපත් ක්‍රියාව හැටියට එතනින් කියන්නේ. ඒ කුමන භාණ්ඩද කියන එක ගන්න ඕන කියන එක මේ පාඩය තුලින් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. මෙහිදී වැදගත් වෙන්නේ පරවිත්තූපකරණ කියන ප්‍රකාශය. ඒ පරවිත්තූපකරණ කියන පදයට අර්ථ දෙකක් දක්වලා තියෙනවා. ඉන් එකක් තමයි අනුන්ට අයත් වටිනා බඩු කියන එක. අනිත් එක තමයි අනුන්ට අයත් ධනය, ඒ වගේම උපකරණ. මේ දෙකම අයිති වෙනවා. ශික්ෂාපද වලින් පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙන ඒ අකරණීය කරුණු නැත්නම් නොකළ යුතු දේවල් සමාජ සංස්ථාව කෙරෙහි බලපෑමට පටන් ගත්තේ ඍෂි යුගයේදී. මේ යුගයේදී සාකච්ඡාවට ගැනිච්ච ප්‍රධාන සාධක දෙක තමයි ශ්‍රමය හා උපකරණ. ඒ ආර්ථික සාධක වශයෙන් ගත්තත් ශ්‍රමය කියන එක ගැනෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ ශ්‍රමය සහ උපකරණ කියන දෙකම සාකච්ඡාවට ගැනලා තියෙනවා. මෙහිදී භාවිතයට ගැනිච්ච ඒ උපකරණ ඉතාම ප්‍රාථමික ස්වරූපයේ තිබුණ කියන එකයි අපිට හිතන්න තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් ඒවයින් වෙච්ච සේවය ඉතාම විශිෂ්ටයි කියන එක පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. ඒ ගොඩ මඩ දෙකම මිනිසාට ගොවිතැන් කරන්නට මේ උපකරණ වලින් විශාල සේවයක් ඉෂ්ට වුණා කියන එක අපට අතීතයේ දිහා බලනකොට පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා එකල ජනතාවට ඒවායේ තියෙන වටිනාකම අතිශයින් වැඩි වුණා. මේ පාඨයේ සඳහන් වෙන පරවිත්තූපකරණ කියන පදයෙන් මූලික වශයෙන් අදහස් කරන්නට ඇත්තේ ඒ ගොඩමඩ ගොවිතැන් උපකරණ නැත්නම් ගොවිතැනට උපයෝගී කරගන්නා ඒ අඩුබඩු හැටියට අපට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා විශේෂණ කොට දක්වනවා ගාමගතං වා අරඤ්‍යගතං වා කියන පද භාවිත කිරීම තුලින්. මේ උපකරණ භාවිතයෙන් පස්සේ හේනේ ඒ වගේම ගොවිපලේ තබා ගන්නට ඒ වගේම ගේ දොර කරා ගෙන යන්නට මිනිස්සු පුරුදු වෙලා හිටිය බව ඒ අතීත කරුණු වලින් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා. කිසියම් කෙනෙක් එළියද්දේ ගොවිපලේ තිබිලා ඒව ගන්න නැත්නම් ගේ දොර තියෙනකොට ඒවා ගන්න එක වැරදි කියන එක ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට මෙන්න මේ කියන පද භාවිත කරන්නට ඇතයි කියලා අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ සමාජයේ සිටින පුජ්‍යලයන් පියවරෙන් පියවර ඉදිරියට යනකොට මේ මූලික අර්ථකථනය ප්‍රමාණවත් නොවන්නට ඇතයි කියලා අපට අනුමාන කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා නුදුන්න දේවල් නොගත යුත්තේ කුමන හේතුවක් නිසාද කියන එක මේක පිළිතුරක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ සඳහා යොදාගෙන තියෙනවා කිංචි ක්වච කියන පද දෙක. මේ පාලි භාෂාවෙන් ඉදලා තියෙන මේ පද දෙකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ ක්වච කියන්නේ කිසියම් තැනකදී කියන එකයි. කිංචි කියලා කියන්නේ කිසිවක් ගන්නෙ නැති කියන අදහස. එතකොට අදින්නාදාන ශික්ෂාපදයට අනුව තමන්ට අයිති නොවෙච්ච පවරා නොදුන්න ඉදි කටුවක දෙයක්වත් නොගත යුතුයි කියන එක තමයි ඒ බෞද්ධ කතාන්තර වලින් පැහැදිලි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අදින්නාදාන ශික්ෂාපදයෙන් වැළකෙන්නට නම් ඒ නුදුන්න සියලුම දේවල් වලින් අපි වර්ජනය කරන්නට ඕනේ. සියලුම දේවල් වර්ජනය කරන්නට ඕනේ. සබ්බං අදින්නම් පරිවජ්ජේහි කියන ඒ පාලි පාඨයෙන් පැහැදිලි වෙනවා නුදුන් සියලු දේවල් වර්ජනය කළ යුතුයි කියන එක. ඒක පාලි පාඨයෙන් තවදුරටත් පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙනවා. අදින්නාදානා විරමණය නැත්තම් නුදුන් දෙයින් වැළකීම කියන මේ ශික්ෂාපදයේ පැති තුනක් හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන්, දකින්නට පුළුවන්. එෙහිදී සමස්ත වශයෙන් සම්පූර්ණ වෙන්නට නම් මේ පැති තුනම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නට ඕන. ඒකේ පළවෙනි කරුණ තමයි නුදුන්න දේවල් තමන් විසින් ගන්නේ නැති බව. අදින්නම් පරිවර්ජී කියලා ඒ සූත්‍ර දේශනාවේ සඳහන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. දෙවෙනි කරුණ තමයි අනෙක් අය ලබා නොගැන්වීම. න ආරයේ තමන් ගන්නෙත් නැහැ, ඒ වගේම අනිත් අය ලබා ගන්නන්නට උත්සාහ කරන්නේ නැති එක. ඒ වගේම තුන්වෙනි කාරණය තමයි අනෙක් අය කරන හොරකම් ඉවසා සිටින්නේ නැති බව. අරණං නානු ජඤ්ඤ කියලා පාලි පාඨයෙන් එක විස්තර කරලා තියෙනවා. මේ අනුව ඒ හොරකමින් වැළකීම නැත්නම් අදින්නා දානා විරමණය පහසුවෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් විදියට කල්පනා කරන්නට බෑ. ඒක කායික මානසික වශයෙන් ප්‍රගුණ කරන්න පුළුවන් වැදගත් ප්‍රතිපදාවක්. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ හොරකමින් වැළකීම කියන එක අදින්නා දානා විරමණය විදියටයි හඳුන්වලා තියෙන්නේ. දින්නා දායි දින්න පාටිකංකී අතේනේතේ සුඛී භූතේන අත්තනා විහෙරති කියන පාලි පාඨයෙන් පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ අදහස දුන් දෙයක් පමණක් ගත යුතුයි කියන එකයි. නොදුන්න දේවල් ගැනීම මේ සොරකමට අයිති වෙනවා. සතුටු වෙන්නට ඕන දුන්න දෙයින් පමණයි. ඒ වගේම හිතන්නට ඕන තමාට ලැබුණු ප්‍රමාණය, තමන්ට ලැබෙන්න තියෙන ප්‍රමාණය එපමණයි කියලා හිතන්නට ඕන. බොහෝ දේවල් ලැබෙන්නට ප්‍රාර්ථනා කෙරුවත් ලැබෙන්නේ ඊටාම අල්ප දෙයක් නම් ඒ තමන්ට හිමි ප්‍රමාණය කියලා සතුටු වෙන්නට ඕන. එහෙම සතුටු වෙනකොට තමයි අපි හොරකමට පෙළඹෙන්නේ නැතුව මේ ශික්ෂාපදේ ආරක්ෂා කරගන්න පුළුවන් වන්නේ. ජීවත් වෙන්නට ඕනකම තියෙන්නේ සොරසිතින් නොවේයි, මනා පැවැත්මෙන් යුක්තව. මේ විදිහට හිතන කෙනෙකුට පමණයි මේ අදින්නා දානාස් කියන මේ සිල්පදය ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට පුළුවන්කම ලැබෙන්නේ. ඒ වටපිටාවෙන් එවැනි ගොඩනැගීමක්, යහපත් පරිසරයක් ගොඩනගා ගන්න හැකි වන්නේ මෙන්න මේ විදිහට හිතන කෙනෙකුට පමණයි. මේ සිල්පදයෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වන පරමාර්ථය තමයි අල්පේච්ඡතාවය ඇති කර ගැනීම. අල්පේච්ඡතාවය කියන්නේ අඩු ආසාවන් වලින් යුක්තව කටයුතු කිරීම. එහෙම පුරුදු වෙන කෙනාට අනුන්ගේ දේවල් වලට ආසා කරන්න, ඒවා හොර හිතින් ගන්නට අවශ්‍යතාවයක් ඇති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. සොරකමක් සම්පූර්ණ වෙන්නට නම් කරුණු පහක් සම්පූර්ණ විය යුතුයි කියන එක සද්ධර්මෝපාය කියන ග්‍රන්ථයේ සඳහන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කරුණු පහ තමයි, පළවෙනි කාරණේ තමයි අනුන්ට අයිති වස්තුවක් වීම. දෙවෙනි කාරණය තමයි ඒක ඒ බව දැන ගැනීම. තුන්වෙනි කාරණය තමයි ගැනීමේ හිතක් පහළ වීම. හතරවෙනි කාරණය ඒ සඳහා උපක්‍රම යෙදීම. පස්වෙනි කාරණය තමයි ඉවත් කිරීම නැත්නම් ගැනීම. මෙන්න මේ පුඩා හොරකමක් කරන කෙනෙක් වුණත්, මහා පරිමාණ හොරකමක් කරන කෙනෙකුට උනත් මේ කාරණා පොදුයි. ඒ සියල්ලටම ඒ සියල්ලම සම්පූර්ණ වුණාම තමයි හොරකම සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. යම් පුජ්‍යලෙක් හොරකමක් කරාම ඔහු පිළිබඳව සමාජයේ නිතර දෙවිලේ සැකයෙන් බලනවා. හොරකම් කරපු පුජ්‍යලයා පිළිබඳව සමාජයේ යම් නරක රාවයක් පැතිරෙනවා, මෙයා හොරෙක් කියන අදහස. ඒ වගේම මේ ලෝකේ පමණක් නොවේ, පරලෝක කරාත් එක ගමන් කරන සොරකම් කරන පුජ්‍යලයා මරණින් මත්තේ අපායේ උපදින බව තමයි ධර්මයේ දක්වලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම තිරිසන් යෝනියේ එහෙම නැත්නම් ප්‍රේතේකු වෙලා උප්පත්තිය ලබන්න පුළුවන්. මනුෂ්‍ය ආත්ම භාවයක උපන්නත් එයා දිලින්දෙක් වෙලා උපදින්නේ, දුප්පත් වෙලා උපදින්නේ. ලැබෙන්න තියෙන දේවල් පෙනි නොලැබී යනවා. මෙන්න මේ විදිහට සොරකමේ විපාක මෙලොවදිත් පරලෝදිත් කියන දෙකේදීම විඳින්නට සිද්ධ වෙන බව ධර්මයේ පැහැදිලි වශයෙන්ම දක්වලා තියෙනවා. සොරකමින් නැත්තම් අදත්තා දාණයෙන් වැළකීම ඒ දස අකුසල් වලින් එකක්. ඒ දස අකුසල් කරන පුජ්‍යලයාට මෙලොව වශයෙන් ඒ අවනම්බු අපකීර්ති ලැබෙනවා වගේම ඒකේ හොඳ පැත්ත දස කුසල් කරන එක්කෙනාට මෙලොව වශයෙන් කීර්ති ප්‍රශංසා ලැබෙනවා වගේම පරලොව වශයෙන් සුගතියේ උපදින්නටත් ධනවත් උප්පත්තිය ලබන්නට පුළුවන් වෙනවා, හැකි වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේ පංච දුස්තච්චයට අයත් අදින්නා දානේ නැත්තම් හොරකමින් වැළකීලා ජීවත් වෙන්නට අපි අදිස්ථාන කරගන්නට ඕන. හැම දිනාටම තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
සාදු සාදු සාදු. අප කෙරෙහි අනුකම්පාවෙන් අද දිනයට නියමිත වසල සූත්‍රයේ 4 වන ගාථා ධර්මයේ සඳහන් වන සොරකම පුද්ගලයෙකු වසලයෙකු බවට පත් කරන බව පැහැදිලි කරමින් ඒ ධර්මානුශාසනාව පවත්වනු ලැබුවේ අතිගෞරවනීය දික්වැල්ලේ සීලසුමන පණ්ඩිත හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ. මේ වස්සාන සමයේ සිදු කරන ධර්ම දාන පින්කම් මාලාවේ ඒ උතුම් ධර්මානුශාසනාවෙන් රැස් කරගත් කුසලයේ ආශිර්වාදය උන්වහන්සේගේ ජීවිතයටත් සැලසේවා, නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවයේ පිණිසම වේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. ඒ වගේම අද දවසේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වයේ දරන සෙල්වි සිවසුබ්‍රමණියම් මහත්මියටත් නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවය ආශිර්වාද සැලසේවා කියලා මේ වෙලාවේදී අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. Now we are moving into few minutes of chanting of blessings. Do join few minutes of chanting of blessings. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evaං me sutaං ekං samayang bhagavā sāvantiyam virati jetavane anāta pindikassa ārāme atako bhagavā pumbban samayang nivāset patta cīvara mādāya sāvat Tiyang pindaya pavisi tena kopana samayena angika varadvajansa brahmanassa nivesane අග්ගි පජ්ජලිතෝ හෝති ආහුති පග්ගහිතා අතකෝ භගවා සාවන්තියං සපදානං
පිණ්ඩාය චරමානායන
අග්ගික භාරද්වාජස්ස බ්‍රහ්මනස්ස නිවේසනං තේනුපසංකමී අද්දසාකෝ අග්ගික භාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රහ්මනෝ භගවන්තං දුරතෝව ආගච්ඡන්තං දිස්වාන භගවන්තං ඒතදවෝච තත්‍රේව මුණ්ඩක තත්‍රේව සමනක තත්‍රේව වසලක තිට්ඨාහිති එවං බුත්තේ භගවා අග්ගික
භාරද්වාජං
බ්‍රාහ්මනං ඒතදවෝච
ඥාන
ජානාසි පනත්වං බ්‍රහ්මන වසලං වා වසල කරණේවා ධම්මේති නක්වාහං ගෝතම ජානාමි වසලං වා වසල කරණේවා ධම්මේ සාදු මේ බවං ගෝතමෝ තථා ධම්මං දේසේතු යතාහං ඥානියං වසලං වා වසල කරණේවා ධම්මේති තේනහි බ්‍රහ්මන
සුනායි සාදුකං
මනසි කරෝහි භාසිස්සාමිති එවං බෝති කෝ අග්ගික භාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ භගවතා
භගවතු
පච්චස්සෝසි භගවා ඒතදවෝච කෝදනෝ උපනායිච පාපමක්ඛීච යෝ නරෝ විප්පන්න දිට්ඨි මායාවී තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති ඒකජං වා ද්විජං වාපි යෝදපානානින්සති තස්ස පානේ දයානත්ති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝහන්ති පරිරුන්දති ගාමානි නිගමානිවා නිග්ගාහකෝ සමඤ්ඤාතෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති ගාමේවා යදි වාරඤ්ඤේ යම් පරේසං මමායිතං තේයා අදින්නං ආදියති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ හවේ ඉනමාදාය චුඤ්ජමානෝ පලායති නහිතේ ඉනමත් තීති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ කිංචික්ක කම්යතා පන්තස්මින් වජතං ජනං හන්त्वा කිංචික්ක මාදේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ අත්ථ හේතු පර හේතු ධන හේතු චයෝ නරෝ සක්ති පුට්ඨෝ මුසා බ්‍රූති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ ඥාතිනං සකානං වාදාරේසු පටිදිස්සති සහසා සම්පියේන වා තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ මාතරං වා පිතරං වා ජින්නකං ගත යොබ්බනං පහුසන්තෝන භරති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ මාතරං වා පිතරං වා භාතරං භගිනින් සසුං හන්ති රෝසේති වාචාය තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ අත්තං පුඤ්චිතෝ සන්තෝ අනත්ත මනුසාසති පටිච්චන්නේන මන්තේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ කତ୍වා පාපකං කම්මං මාමං ජඤ්ඤාති ඉච්ඡති යෝ පටිච්චන්න කම්මන්තෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ පරකුලං ගන්්වා බුත්වාන සුවිභෝජනං ආගතං පටිපූජේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනං වා සමනං වා අඤ්ඤං වාපි වනිම්බකං මුසාවාදේන වංචේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනං වා සමනං වා බත්ත කාලේ උපට්ඨිතේ රෝසේති වාචානච දේති තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති අසතං යෝද පබ්‍රූති මෝහේන පලිගුන්තිතෝ කිංචික්ඛං නිච්චිකිස්සානෝ තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ චත්තානං සමුක්ඛංසේ පරංච මවජානති නහි නිහිනෝ සේන මානේන තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති රෝසකෝ කදරියෝ ච පාපි මච්චෝ මච්චරී සටෝ අහිරිකෝ අනොත්තාපි තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ බුද්ධං පරිභාසති අතවා තස්ස ශාවකං පරිභාජං ගහට්ටං වා තංජඤ්ඤා වසලෝ ඉති යෝ වේ අනරහා සන්තෝ අරහං පටිජානති චෝරෝ සම්බ්‍රහ්මකේ ලෝකේ ඒසකෝ වසලාදමෝ ඒතකෝ වසලාවුත්තා මයාවෝ යේ පකාසිතාන චජ්ජා වසලෝ තීන චජ්ජා හෝති බ්‍රහ්මනෝ කම්මනා වසලෝ ති කම්මනා හෝති බ්‍රහ්මනෝ තදම්නාපි විජානාත යතාමේදං නිදස්සනං චණ්ඩාල පුත්තෝ සෝපාකෝ මාතං වෝ ඉති විස්සුතෝ යෝසෝ යසං පරමං පත්තෝ මාතං ගෝයං සුදුල්ලබං ආගං යුන්තස්සු පණ්ඩානං කත්තියා බ්‍රාහ්මනා බහෝ සෝදීවයාන මාරුයිහ විරජංසෝ මහාපතං කාමරාගං විරාජෙත් බ්‍රහ්මලෝකූපගෝ අහෝනනං ජාති නිවාරේසි බ්‍රහ්මලෝකූපපත්ත්‍ය අජ්ජායක කුලේ ජාතා බ්‍රාහ්මනා මත්ත බන්දුනෝ යේ තේච පාපේසු කම්මේසු අභින්නමුපදිස්සති දිත්තේව ධම්මේ ගාරයිහා සම්පරායේච දුක්ඛතින් නතේ ජාති නිවාරේති දුක්ඛංචා ගරහාය වාන චජ්ජා වසලෝ හෝති නජ්ජා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ කම්මනා වසලෝ හෝති කම්මනා හෝති බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ ඒවං බුද්තේ අග්ගික භාරද්වාජෝ බ්‍රාහ්මනෝ භගවන්තං ඒතදෝච අභික්ඛන්තං භෝගෝතම අභික්ඛන්තං භෝගෝතම සේයතාපි භෝගෝතම නික්කුජ්ජිතං වා උක්කුජ්ජේය පටිච්චන්නං වා විවරේය මුල්හස්සං වා මග්ගං ආචිංගිය අන්ධකාරේ වා තේල පජ්ජෝතං ධාරේය චක්කුමන්තෝ රූපානි ඒවමේවං භෝතා ගෝතමේන අනේක පරියායේන ධම්මා පකාසිතෝ ඒසාහං භගවන්තං ගෝතමං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ධම්මං ච භික්ඛු සංඝං ච උපාසකං මං භවං ගෝත යාරේතු අච්චතග්ගේ පානුපේතං සරණං ගතං Etena Satya Vajjena Sottite Hotu Sabbadayan Dunnimittang
Avamangalancha yochamanapo kunassa sando
Papagga Hodussu Pinanna Kantang
Buddhanubhavena vinasamento
Yandunnimittang
Avamangalancha yochamanapo kunassa sando
Papagga Hodussu Pinanna Kantang
Dhammanubhavena vinasamento
Yandunnimittang Avamangalancha
yochamanapo kunassa sando
Papagga Hodussu Pinanna Kantang
Sanghanubhavena
Vinasamento Dukkam Pattaca Nindukha
Bhayam
Pattaca
pattaca nibbaya
Sokam Pattaca Nisoka Hontu Sabbe Pipanino Sabbe Buddha Balapatta
Paccekananca ambalang
Arahantananca Tejena Rakkam
bandami
Sabbaso Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are moving into our English Dhamma sermon. I would very respectfully invite Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumana Sirinayaka Thera to make the English Dhamma sermon reflection. As a form of very respectful invitation, please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Reverences, sisters and brothers in the Dhamma, today we are continuing, like on the other day, the Vasala Sutta, the sutta which describes who is an outcast. That means which person who does bad acts could not fall into a good category of conduct. As the stanza or gatha goes, whatever in the village, whether in the village or in the forest, woods, whosoever appropriates by theft, steals. That means if you steal what belongs to others or what is not given to you, which is valuable to others, you become an outcast. Simplified, the meaning is, do not steal. We know that our Buddhist laypersons and monastics also follow the precept of not to commit theft, not to do stealing, which is bad and immoral and unethical universally as well. As far as the monks are concerned, in the monks' law, there are 20 types of theft which have been described by the commentaries. This is called Pasvisi Avahara in the Vinaya. Say, for instance, one could do a theft by cheating when one, a monk or nun, crosses the border and without declaring what he or she has. The simple way of how laypersons follow the precept is to how they practice morality and all types of virtues as far as good conduct is concerned. The basic translation goes, for those who are not familiar, I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. In the case of Buddhist monks and nuns, all movable and immovable property in the temple belongs to the Ubato Sangha, Bhikkhu Sangha and Bhikkhuni Sangha. Sangha doesn't mean only monks. There's a big misunderstanding in the cultures. We have to understand this. Sangha means group. Bhikkhu Sangha is one group. Bhikkhuni Sangha is another group. Upasaka Sangha is another group. Upasika Sangha is another group. And in the case of them, if they are taken something which is common property, there's no problem. Also, if a antevasika, that means somebody who stays with you together, that person thinks if he doesn't mind when you take, this is called Visasagahi. This is also found in the Vinaya, which means taken out of trust of the owner, though not given to oneself. So therefore, we can understand not just the letter of the law or regulation or precept, but the spirit of it is also looked into very carefully. So therefore, when one deals with counterfeit money, that is also theft. Smuggling without paying duties, that is also theft. Extortion, kidnapping, pickpocketing, copying articles without permission or without affirming who is the author, fraud, all types of frauds and false claims to gain some other's possessions or property. Also, when it comes to lay persons, that where employees take small items for their personal use without the permission of the employer, pirate CDs, illegal downloads, I think many laypersons do this, bribery and corruption, whether even if the country is called a Buddhist country. These are all under that code of ethics which we need to respect not to do by monastics and by lay followers. These are called some in traditions, like in Sravakayana precepts where it is elaborated in Mahayana Buddhism, in contrast to the Bodhisattva precepts. This type of ideas you find also in the Abrahamic faiths, in Judaism, in Christianity, in Islam. They also prohibit their followers to commit theft. So is in Zoroastrianism, Confucianism. And when you come to humanism, you know, it's a human right of property for a person that things belong to him as an individual. So individual rights can be violated by somebody else. And in criminal law, it is the right of the owner and his property or his possessions. In the book of law, I'm just saying in general, not just particular, what is important in criminal law, mens rea, in Latin they say, that means the intention, the purpose, the deliberation, the objective of the act is important. But not only that, like in the Buddhist way of judging, actus reus in Latin, in law, in criminal law, it says the proper act must be done also. And when it comes to the evaluation, like in the case of Buddhist monks, in tradition they have said, this is what I'm referring to, like 50 years ago, they say, a thing which is below the value of 75 cents, this is 1960 or in 1960s period time, they have said, it is of not valuable. Yeah. If something is not to the value of 75 cents in Asian countries, which is a very low kind of calculation, it is not considered theft. In African countries, we know the way of judging theft and how they pay by barter system is very different. So therefore, there is no offense if the value is very minimum and very less. When the value is given, The moral evaluation, the ethical evaluation of the act is judged in accordance to its value. Sisters and brothers in Dhamma, these are just a few remarks. There is much more that we could discuss. My given time is over. So I wish all of you understand and not commit theft in any form which makes you an outcast. May the teachings of the Buddha's moral understanding and precepts help all of us to achieve and have built a lot of confidence and good name as individuals in this world and hereafter. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Our gratitude and blessings to Most Reverend Dr. Dato Sumanasri Nayaka Thera for sharing the Dhamma reflection about today's subject. For may the blessings of that Dhamma reflection be with him and all his family members, especially the blessings of today be with his younger brother who is not feeling well in the hospital. May he has a speedy recovery. We dedicate these Dhamma blessings into his good name. May he be well and recover speedily from all these difficulties. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa gameva yadivaranye yang pare sang mamaitang teya adinnang adiyati tanjanya vasaloiti. Today we discuss about the fourth gatha of the Vasala Sutta, the discourse on outcast. The particular gatha, the meaning in the village or in the jungle, whatever belongs to others, through theft, one takes what is not given. Buddha said, know him as an outcast. Here, Buddha refers to the second of the 5 precepts, as well as the second of the 10 unwholesome actions, which is abstaining from the stealing or taking what is not given, either in the villages or towns or in the forest. If one steals the belongings of other people, it is an immoral behavior of an outcast. Everyone likes to keep their possessions and will be unhappy to lose them. And considering that, one should respect others' possessions, others' right to keep their possessions and refrain from violating that right. Going back to this particular discourse delivered by the Buddha in ancient India, even during the time of the Buddha, the caste system prevailed in a very big way. The 4 main castes were Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, Sudra, and Vaisra. The blue-blooded, especially the Kshatriya, which is the royalty, and the Brahmanas thought they were superior to others. Therefore, they dominated society and treated all others as outcasts. The outcasts were expelled from society and were not considered as respectable men or women, even to associate with. The outcasts called Vasala were treated badly and were not recognized in the social structure of India by that time. They were not given equal opportunities. They were not allowed to read the spiritual scripts like Vedas or mantras. They worked like slaves and were ill-treated by the superclass, the king, nobles, and the Brahmins. The Buddha was a great revolutionary. He never cared for caste, creed, or color. For him, everyone born in the world were equal. He was undoubtedly the greatest social reformer of the world. Born to a royal family, the Buddha treated everyone equally. This shows clearly the greatness of the Buddha. He fought for the downtrodden. He always stood for fair play and justice. In the Aggika Bharadwaja Sutta or Vasala Sutta we see the Buddha in the proper perspective. In ancient India, there were many kinds of religious beliefs and practices, and some worshipped the sun, the wind, the elements of nature. Very popular ritual was the fire sacrifice. One day, the enlightened one, the blessed one, was on his way begging for alms in Savatthi. A Brahmin known as Aggika Bharadwaja had began his usual fire sacrifice. Through sheer ignorance, hauntingness, and pride, arrogance and pride, Aggika Bharadwaja, seeing the Buddha at a distance, addressed the Blessed One in an insulting manner. The Buddha, the Blessed One, never got upset. He had dealt with more difficult caste people like similar aggressive, such as Alavaka. The Blessed One was calm and remained cool and serene. The Buddha questioned the Aggika Bharadwaja, "Do you know what makes a man or a woman an outcast?" He could not answer the question. Then through the compassion to the Brahmin, the Buddha explained the conditions that makes one an outcast. As a result, he preached this particular discourse called Vasala Sutta. This is also in the Book of Protection, Mahapirit Pota. There are 29 suttas in the Mahapirit Pota, the Book of Protection, and 12 of those discourses comes from Kuddaka Suttas. This Vasala Sutta is also one of those. And in this Vasala Sutta, Buddha explained 24 stanzas or verses, and in every verse end with the saying Tanjanya Vasalo iti, means know him as an outcast. The Blessed One makes a list of things that makes one an outcast. The Buddha, in concluding this Vasala Sutta, said, if a man who performs evil action in this world as well as beyond it suffer in both worlds. So therefore, it can be very clearly seen those are very downfalling. Person gets a lot of difficulties if they practice those things. Among those, today we discuss the very particular thing called stealing. Whether a person lives in a town or in a village or a forest, if that person steals, that is a bad thing, is a wrong thing, is a social violence, social discrimination. Particularly, Buddha said that if a person earns something from sweating and working hard, therefore, everyone should protect their possessions. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, this has explained as called Samma Ajiva, which means right livelihood. In the Saddharmopaya, the book, it explained for stealing to be completed, there should be 5 factors to complete. So what are those 5 factors? You should identify it is belong to someone, not to you. And then make yourself very clear that does not belong to you, it belongs to someone, and then have an intention to take it. And then make a method to take that. As a result, that is being taken or removed from that position. Those are the 5 things need to be completed according to that. Whether it is a small stealing or a very big scale. That in few years ago in London, the biggest ivory storage was stolen, and eventually the police managed to took them. So they identified it is not belong to them, and they realized that is something belongs to some others, and then they had the intention of stealing it, and they made a very big plan, and then eventually they removed all these valuable things, diamonds, and then that was stolen. So those 5 things were completed there. And in Kavya Sekara, another book, Buddha, it explained 7 things to be completed to make another stealing. The additional thing normally it says that it should be belong to someone else, and you should know about this belong to someone else, and then you should have an intention to steal it, and then you make a method to steal that, and then you also engage other people to engage in it with your instructions. That person steal it. That way, by completing 7 things, the person complete the stealing. Therefore, the 7 things can make even the person who steals, even the person who encouraged to steal, and all the people get the bad result of it. So, stealing as well as encouraged to steal or helping to steal, everyone get the equal results of the bad habit. Then what are the bad results of stealing? The person get downfall in this life as well as in next life as well. The person being born into a lower realm, even animal realms. In Diga Nikaya, Chakkavatti Sihanada Sutta, it explained very beautifully how this came into being. In this particular sutta, it explained they appointed a king, monarch, and then king were asked to discipline the people, and the king said that from that day onwards, people need to practice 5 precepts: abstaining from killing other living beings, stealing, adultery, lying, and all these things. They said, the king said that you should not do it. Then eventually everybody practiced it. However, there were some poor people. Those poor people, because even though they practiced that, they could not survive or make their living, they start stealing. Then king come to know that someone's property being stolen. Then what happened is, king brought that person and asked, why did you steal? This person said, I was having no way to live my life, so I did not have anything, therefore I stole it. Then king said, in that case, if you steal it, therefore I am going to give you some money, so you don't have to steal it. Somehow what happened, other people come to know this. What they come to know, they said, everyone said, this person has stolen, so he got money. And other people copied. Other people purposely stole in the intention they will get money from the king. So this became a big problem in the country. Then eventually king said, bring those people, those who have stolen, and gave them a lot of punishments and eventually beheaded, killed them in the public platform. So after that, nobody stole, everybody worked hard. This story says, if somebody is given free things and they become lazy, and it also eventually lead into stealing. Therefore, this is being explained as a very bad action. I will tell you a story, what happened at a certain time. There was a poor family. In this poor family, there was a boy, and this boy one day stole a pen of another boy, came home and showed it to his mother, saying that, Mom, I stole a pen. Mom said, oh, that's wonderful. You are a very, very clever boy. So second day, he stole a box of pens. The mom said, you are getting now much better. Third day, he started stealing a lot of more other in the classroom. And eventually, every time mother said, that's very good, because, you know, they were very poor. However, this person came out of the school. When he became a young person, he became a very clever steal person, thief. And eventually, police caught him, put him in the jail for life. One day, this mother went to see him, and the boy behind the bars was crying, saying, my dear mommy, the day I stole a small pen, if you stopped me, I would have not been in this prison. So therefore, our parents as monks has a very special responsibility to teach our children about this over and over and over again. That is why not a one day, we take the precepts every day, abstaining from stealing, because it doesn't take a lot of time to make and steal. Sometimes you may not steal. There is a Jataka story called Mani Chora Jataka. In that Jataka story, a person was going in a journey with his cart or vehicle with his beautiful wife. The wife was having a beautiful ornaments, jewelries. That Manichora means, money means the gem, stolen gem. So the king had fond of this wife. And the king wanted to know whether this lady is married or not. And he sent the people and found out the person who was driving the cart was her husband. However, this vicious king wanted to take the wife. And what did? He put a gem into his vehicle and let the people find it out and say that he has stolen this. As a result, he was killed, and this happened. So likewise, you know, sometimes even in some other countries or some other places, they are completely innocent. If they have some other problem, they try to put certain kind of drugs and other things and take them into custody or prisons as a result. So that also is a very bad thing according to the stealing. And there is another story called Sila Vimansa Jataka. Sila Vimansa Jataka, during the time the king of Kosala respected one of the priests very well. This priest wanted to know whether the king supports so much of him because of his family or because of his precepts, because he is very good in spirituality. One day he went to the treasure, the Bhandagare, and asked the person in the treasure, why did king respect me so much? Is that because of my family or because of my sila, the morality? The person did not say anything. So then this priest, what did he do? He stole few coins first day. The person in charge did not say anything. Second day also, he stole little bit more. On third day also, he steal little bit more. Then this person in charge could not think about anymore and complained to the king. And the king then eventually asked this person to come and said, you have done a very bad thing, and he was humiliated and punished. Then this priest said, no, it is not intentionally I wanted to steal. I wanted to really check the king, whether you are respecting me for my family or for my morality. Now I understand you are really respecting me because of my morality, not because of my social class. The king said, no, it's still not acceptable. If you even to test for something, even for a research purpose, you should not do the stealing. So sometimes somebody may say that you steal just to check the other people or to investigate whether it is possible. That is not an excuse, because it falls into the bad and worst category called stealing. So therefore, in the different places like Anguttara Nikaya, Adinnādāna Sutta, Buddha says that if somebody steals and also encourage or engage someone else to steal, if someone praises the stealing and if someone approves the stealing, all four people get the same consequences, bad results. In the same way, Buddha said, if someone avoid from stealing, also avoid others stealing. So once one avoid oneself in the stealing, also avoid other people and never praise stealing and always condemn stealing, say the consequences of stealing. If those four things being done according to the Adinnādāna Sutta of the Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha said that that person born in the heavenly realms. Now it gives a very clear understanding. Even in the lower Sangarava, Buddha said, Balayen wat kisiyam sora sitaking, siyating wat nudun u upadesaking, parasantaka deya gata sora siting, nirayen nirayata paminei etaking. So if somebody steals, if something that does not belong to oneself, that person born in the very low, miserable realms. Now the question, you know, people are poor, people are rich. The Buddha said, those who have not stolen become very rich. Those who steal always become very poor. And also, those who abstain from stealing, they become rich. They become very respectful. That means those who steal, nobody respect, nobody trust that person at all. The whole life, everybody do not believe or trust that person. Therefore, you are creating a very bad social reputation if you steal. And then those who are abstaining from stealing, if they wish something, they receive it. And their properties, Buddha said, never get lost from fire, the flood, and other natural disasters. Mainly, that person's possessions. Sometimes, you know, some people try very hard and they see very nearby their achievement, but eventually at the last minute it disappears. Why? Because they have done the steal in their previous life, sometimes even they see it, even it comes to the very near, but eventually it disappears. So therefore, stealing is a very bad thing in life. With this in our reflection for today, we take this opportunity to share the blessings for the Dhamma reflections. Today we reflect on the consequences, negative results of the bad habit, which is the second precepts of the 5 precepts. In this discourse on the Vasala Sutta, Buddha said that if somebody steals, that person is an outcast, low person. May the blessings be with everyone. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now I will pass on to our Rasikaya to go ahead with the Dhamma school program.
සියලු මහාමුදුරන් වහන්සේලාගෙන් අවසරයි. තෙරුවන් සරණයි සියලු දෙනාටම. Good evening, everyone. So we learned today the 4th gatha in Vasala Sutta, which basically described if someone steals, know him as an outcast. That's the simple meaning of that gatha. And we know that out of the 5 precepts, the second one is the one directly related to this stealing. So every day we say these precepts and try to practice these precepts, particularly the one that we learned today. So Hamduru explained how stealing becomes a sin. There are 7 things that need satisfying. We learned all of them. And what are the after effects of stealing as well? For example, you lose social status. If you become a thief in your society. And the bottom line, Nayak Hamduru said, don't commit any form of theft. That's the bottom line. So Hamduru explained lots of details as to what are the forms of stealing. And also Nayak Hamduru said that how to avoid stealing and become happy about not stealing. I think that is what, as children, you need to practice. I know you are good children. You don't steal. But do you really be happy on a daily basis that I am not stealing? You need to ask that question. Not only children, as adults, we need to ask that question. Do we become happy or do we take it for granted? We don't steal, therefore that's fine. But we learned from Hamaduro's lecture today that we need to dig deeper into this subject and ask ourselves honestly, do we become happy by thinking of not stealing? And I would say thank you to all Hamaduru in the temple for explaining this stealing, which we thought is simple, but your explanation took us into a different level, all of us. On behalf of all the children and parents, I would wish all Hamaduru in the temple good health and happiness. Therewal Saranai. Good. Now it is time for us to do some homework. So week before last, we learned the third gatha of Vasala Sutta. And it's time for you to explain to us, show us, or share your knowledge of that gatha. So I would first pass on to Sachit to start your presentation. Thank you.
One Sanai. Today I'd like to talk about the third gatha of the Vasala Sutta. Yoha Dipa Maridunda Jamani Nigama Nicha Nigahato Samanyato Tamjana Basalority. This gatha means where anyone who destroys or burns villages and towns and is infamous as oppressing the local population can be considered an outcast. People have a natural desire to be peaceful towards other living beings. People who don't have this tendency are can be known to have no compassion at all. Anyone who does this, it can be known as a villain or an oppressor to the local people. This also breaks the first precept of the 5 precepts, which is Panati Pata Vedmani Sikha Deng Samadhyami, which means that I will not harm any living beings. Oppressing and torturing the local population can be considered as harming living beings, both mentally and physically. Therefore, doing such activities will cause you not just to be considered a local villain, but also will bring you up to a lower realm and will ultimately lead to a very bad life, next life, and this life. One Sanai.
Thank you. Today we're going to learn and identify the feature of an outcast described in 3rd verse of the Vasala Sutta. It says that Yohanti Paravun Dahati. It says one who destroys and terrorizes people, villages, and shrubs becomes notorious as an oppressor, is an outcast. We heard about this kind of characters from ancient time, and still there are some of them living. They make lot of trouble to people and make them threaten on their day-to-day life. Most of the times they are powerful and the civilians living the area becomes helpless. They always act antisocial behaviors and steal the people wealth. So Lord Buddha taught us keep out of these features from our life, and if anyone having these kind of qualities, we need to identify them as an outcast. Thank
you, Reonaya. Yohanti pariyundati kamani nigamani cha nigahako samanyato Tanjanya Vasalo iti. Meaning of this gatha is, whoever destroys and surrounds the villages and hamlets and becomes one as an oppressor, known him as an outcast. Therwan Saranai.
Thank you, Charudi. Good evening. Yo banti parirundati gama ni nigamanchicha nigaha hakko samanato tamjana vasloti. A person destroys his or her surroundings, villages and neighborhoods, becomes a notorious character and also known as an outcast. Therwan Saranai.
Thank you, Wamin. Hello, everyone. Today I shall be talking about the third gatha of Vasala Sutta. Yohanti parirundata gamani nigamani cha nikahakko samanjato tamjana vasalo iti. Whoever destroys and besieges villages or hamlets and becomes a notorious one as an oppressor may become an outcast. Thank you for listening. Therwan Saranai.
Thank you, Manuka Aya. Today we are going to talk about the third gatha of Vasala Sutta. Yohanti parirudati kamani nikamani ja nikahakko samanyato tamjanya vasalo iti.
Gam nyam gam godura karagana peheragana e gam dawanasana labai gerahum mahasurakiyana Patayutuya Vasalaya Kumelasina. The meaning of this gatha is, whoever destroys and besieges villages and hamlets and becomes notorious as an oppressor is known as an outcast.
Thank you for listening. Therwan Saranai. Yohanti pararandati gamani nigamani cha nigahakko samanhato tanjagaha vasalo iti.
The meaning of the gatha is, whosoever destroys and besides villages and hamlets and becomes notorious and an oppressor, know him as an outcast. Therwan Saranai.
Thank you, Senator Sara. The third gatha of the Vasala Sutta is Yohanti parirundati gamani nigamani cha nigaha samanata tamjana vasalo iti. The meaning of the gatha is, whoever destroys and besieges villages and hamlets and becomes notorious as an oppressor, know him as an outcast. If I explain further, every human being has the natural desire to live a peaceful life with no fear or harm to themselves, their kith and kin, to their belongings. If one terrorizes the innocent people in villages and towns by intimidating and destroying their properties, livelihood, and even their lives with no compassion by creating notoriety and reputation as a notorious thug or criminal. He is considered as an outcast. Thank you for listening, Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Seth Malli. Yohanti pariyundati gamani nigamani cha Nigahako samanyato tamjanya vasalo iti. Whoever has chosen a path in the destruction and invasion of villages and hamlets, and through those acts of sin become known as a tyrant and oppressor, shall be known as an outcast. Lord Buddha discouraged participation in acts of destruction as cause one's downfall in terms of health, wealth, and morality. Also, if one is famous for evil acts and uses the authority given to them unjustly to control people, they are a burden to society. Therefore, if one goes against the 5 precepts and uses their power to suppress others, then they will be known as an outcast. Thank you for listening. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Avishiyakki and Hasanduaya. Yohanti parirundati gammani nigamani cha Nigrahako samanyato tamjanya vasalo iti. This gatha basically means whosoever destroys and besieges villages and hamlets and becomes notorious as an oppressor, know him as an outcast.
Every human being in this world, good or bad, deserves to live peacefully and happily throughout their life. Humans already know this, as they have a natural desire to make themselves live peacefully. This desire would never be fulfilled if there was someone, such as an outcast, destroying the kith and kin of many villages and towns.
That's right, Aya. Only an outcast would even think about this harsh sin. When one invades a town, village, or even country, they would think about ruling it. Take the Romans. They invaded Britain in 43 AD and started ruling it. In the process, they killed many people, which would give a huge amount of sins.
If an outcast were to rule a place or country, then the whole village would be in impending doom, and the villagers would be oppressed by being forced to do work, such as mining or farming, and to top it off, they'll be hurt constantly if they didn't work hard enough. They would basically be under the same punishment as what the Romans did to the British.
Thank you for listening. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you very much for all of you. Diniti and Kavin, have you got any homework done? I'm sorry, I have not put you on the list.
Yohanti parivundati gamani nigamani cha Nigahako samannato tanjanya vasalo iti. The person who kills in villages and towns brings destruction. Then they behave oppressively, which makes them well known as an outcast. Terawan Saranai.
Thank you, Kavin. Thank you, everyone, again. So well done again to all of you for preparing your homework and explaining and sharing your knowledge with us with regard to the meaning of that gatha. So it's time for us to go for any questions if you have. Has anyone got any questions? Mehli.
So, whoever, how would they like destroy a village? But why don't they why they would normally kill the person who's ruling the country, but they won't really destroy the village. So how would that be in the Gatha?
I didn't quite understand Mehli, that question. Metul, can you explain that if you understood what Nagi said?
So I think what she said.
It's like so the person who's trying to rule the country.
Yes.
They would normally destroy the person who is ruling the country. But how would they destroy the village? But when they're trying to support the person who's going to rule the country next.
Right. So it goes in both ways, Mehli. So it doesn't matter whether it's a ruler of the country or an ordinary person. If you kill someone,
it's still a sin.
That is still a sin, and you commit a murder. Now, with regard to your example, it happens to be the ruler of the country. So if he is a good person, good ruler, and people will lose his service to the country, and the person who killed the ruler will suffer the consequences. Anyone else has any questions? Thank you, Mehli, for that question. Seth?
Oh, nothing now. Sorry.
Hasinda?
This isn't about the homework. It is something that popped up. Why is Venerable Moggallana's skin blue?
Yeah.
Right. Does anyone know why?
Because he likes the color blue.
Yeah, with them.
You told me that because he did something very bad in his past life. But why would he become a monk and a chief disciple of Buddha if he did something bad in his past life? Because monks generally are not bad, obviously.
Yeah. That's a good question. Anyone else has any other ideas? Yes, Seth.
This is a complete theory. Probably in his past life, he did something like very, very, very high in the bad section. So like something very, very bad, like very, very bad in his past life, and then probably in his next life, karma struck on him, and then probably he drank something or did something that made his skin turn blue, and that was his bad karma. I'm totally not sure, it's just a theory.
Okay, thank you for your response, Seth. Avishi?
I've heard many different stories for this when I asked, like if I asked my grandfather or my mother, but one of them was that he beat his parents in his past life. So that's why his skin is blue, or I can't remember if this was in his past life or this life, but he was beaten to death by robbers. That
Oh, I know.
Thank you, Avashik. Thank you. Anyone else? Methul and Mehdi?
So, I think he'd he did something very bad, but his skin turned blue, and I think he became a monk because he was acting. So first he was really bad in his past life, but then when he became blue, he might have noticed what he'd done, and then he became a monk because he was being very good in his next life.
Good. Methul?
So I think in his past life, he has done something very bad, and in his next life, so it was he was given a punishment. So he understood that he shouldn't be bad and very rude. So he decided to be very kind and become a monk. That's my theory.
Okay, thank you. Why is blue bad?
What?
Why is blue skin so bad?
Huh? Yeah, but blue skin could be a sign of high quality. Maybe. Just saying.
Who is this? Sarah, you had your hand up.
So he's blue because he hit mom and dad.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Seth?
So I have two things to say. Firstly, according to this part, blue is probably he has something inside him or something like that, just turning his skin blue, or it's just blue because of the bad things he did, and the bad things he could have he did or could have done, and the consequence for it of having blue skin, yes, hitting his parents, doing bad things, like extremely bad things, like some things like hitting your parents, which is extremely bad, and in that consequence he was born with blue skin, and then probably blue represented it could probably be in some sort of bad disease then, that only one person could get that, and that could be like not contagious, but it just like a syndrome or something like that.
Okay, thank you. Rhythm?
Because blue generally represents sadness, I'm just saying this could be a possibility. He was depressed for his last life. Because if blue represents sadness, then he would be sad for his before life. Before
Right.
life, that doesn't make sense.
Okay. You want to say something with them?
No.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah. Right. So lots of ideas. Why Mogala became blue. I would now pass on to Hamaduru to give us a small explanation to that question.
Thank you very much, Rasikaya, for taking care of the questions and answers. why someone become blue. Blue actually is the way that the artist draw it, but in fact it goes into more black color in black. So the story says, as Avishi mentioned, it is true that in his previous life, he treated his parents very badly. He did not want to do that. Unfortunately, he was a very good son. However, he got married to someone, and that wife was always saying things make his mind so upset. The wife didn't really want his elderly parents, who are blind as well, they can't see, to stay in the house because wife has a lot of works to do. So wife was nagging and saying all the time, we'll get rid of them, this is a very big burden. But this son became very innocent, he couldn't do much. So one day he made a plan and said that we are going to visit some other country, and took the mother and father who are blind through a jungle and pretend kind of group of thieves has come to steal them and try to destroy. So he beaten and killed the parents in the intention kind of and making them understand, because they are blind, they can't see what is going on. He was pretending to them, saying that a group of other people in the middle of the jungle turned up to steal and they killed them. So that was a very unfortunate thing happened to him. Even though he did not want to do that, he was eventually, with the depressed mind, compelled to engage in that. So therefore, we have to learn a lot, not only one single thing. Sometimes when you come into families as husband and wife, that you might mistreat, ill-treat, discriminate other parties, other parents, which is a very, very sad thing. We should not do it. When you come into a family as a husband or a wife, you need to be aware that you have not two parents, you have 4, and you need to treat them equally for both sides, not only one side. If a person can't do it, then eventually someone get very, very depressed. I know someone in Colombo, he got married and he used to look after his parents. After marriage, the wife said, you know, we have a family, we have children, we have so much to do. Please don't go every day, every week. Go once a week. So this person's journey became once a week. After a while, wife said, why should you go once a week? We have now 1, 2 children in the family. Go once a month. Then this person, very sadly, limited his visit to the parents once a month. Then after some other time, wife said, why should you go once a month? We have so much to do. Go just once a year for the new year or something. And he was very depressed and eventually became a mentally ill person. And he was admitted to the mental health ward because he could not do his good qualities. But in this this monk, Venerable Mugalan Thera, was a story was a different. He was very upset and depressed, and eventually did this heinous, very bad deed. As a result, the story says that he was beaten at the same manner, even though he became an enlightened person. But the color of skin partly being explained, not fully, as a result of that. So it is dark color or black color. It does not mean every person who has done similar bad karma to be born in that skin color is wrong. You know why a person get a skin color different? Anyone knows why a person get a different skin color? Yeah, Meheli, why a person can get a different skin color?
I forgot.
Oh, that's a very bad thing. You can't forget like that.
Have you remembered now?
So why a person get a different skin color? What is the reason? Why different people get different skin colors? Who want to say that? Yes, Vidun.
Because of genetic things from their parents.
Not really. Yeah, it can be, but mainly a different thing. So yes, Sachit, why the people get different colors in their skin?
Because of different levels of melanin.
Yeah.
Because of a hormone called melanin.
Yes. So it can be hormones or it can be your genetics, but because your relations got the same color, why their relations got that color? Yes, Sachit, Seth, sorry, Seth. Why people are having different colors?
Different skin color. What do you mean, as in like blue and that?
No, I mean that Sri Lankans are not like British. They are not white. British are not like Sri Lankans. Why?
It's because we have a different race.
What?
Race?
No, that's not the reason. Why the Sri Lankan are not like British? Why the British are not like Asians? Yes, Vidun.
Because in Sri Lanka, specifically, typically there's more sun there, so the skin is making the sun is making the skin more dark.
Exactly. It is the sun does. According to the sun, our skin color becomes different. Of course, the person of the dark color goes into a different country, their children will be dark because of their genetic and hormones, but mainly that color of the skin is being decided by the sun, where they are being born and their ancestors are born. So therefore, in the Mughal Hamdro's story, he was partly being born in that color, not fully because of that, but partly for that. But mainly he was even become an enlightened monk. He was beaten to death. He escaped 3 times. He had a very big psychic powers. Anyone knows how did he escape when the people come to kill him? He escaped through the keyhole. So he was in the room and he escaped from the keyhole because he has a psychic power. He was a real super psychic monk. He could have escaped the 3rd time as well. He said, no, I wanted to get rid of this. I wanted to pay this off so that it will not come back. So he remained. The thieves came, broke the door and beaten him to the death. So that was the end of the bad karma being paid. Rayon, does it make a sense?
Yes.
Very good. What about Chanudi?
Yes.
What about Manuka? Did you understand Manuka?
Yes.
So why the people become dark in color?
Maybe because of the climate.
Yes. What about you think? Thank you, Manuka. What about you, Seth?
Yes, I understand. But weren't the first people on Earth like originally have the skin color of black, or was that also because of the sun, or were they originally having the white skin color and then because of the sun it changed during time?
Yeah, it is because of the globe. If you look at the globe, if they are living closer to the sun, they are dark in complexion. If they are away from the sun, they are white in their complexion. So more you closer, more you become dark. It's because of the sun.
I understand.
Yes. Yes, very good. And I hope you were satisfied with the answer to that Mugalan Hamdru's story. You know, that there are a lot of things to learn from his life. Obviously, they came from different regions. Those are good friends. One came from a region that their complexion is white. If you go into India, India is a big country. Like Delhi people, they are white. They are fair in their color. If you go to Madras, they are very black. So likewise, in the India, in the country in India, in different parts of people are different skin colors. So, but Sri Lanka is not that big. That is why Sri Lanka, most of every part of the country, they are in dark colors. Well, good. Thank you very much. Now it's time for a few minutes meditation. Selecting a comfortable posture. Experiencing the sitting. Perhaps reciting in the mind, sitting, 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 to bring you into the present. And make every part of the body comfortable. Keep the body relatively straight, independent. Don't lean against to something that could cause you to sleep. But you develop more alertness, wakefulness by sitting at ease, comfortable. Then slowly take a gentle breath in. And slowly breathe out, relaxing the body. Breathe slowly in. Breathe slowly out, relaxing the body. Breathe slowly in. Hold for a few seconds. Slowly breathe out, relaxing the body. And stay few minutes with this stillness and silence, making every part of the body completely relaxed. Just being aware, in breath and out breath. Even recite as the breath goes in breath. As the breath goes out breath. In breath, out breath. Now we'll practice few minutes loving kindness, metta bhavana. Repeat silently in the mind. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be kind. May I be calm. May I be peaceful. As I am, may my parents, all in my family, my teachers, my friends, my neighbors, all in my country, in the whole world. May they all be well. May they all be happy. May they all be peaceful. And also those who I do not like, those who are, maybe those who we do not like, those who are difficult, those who make problems, we still need to radiate love and kindness to them. Not any anger whatsoever. In any form of anger, dislikeness, arrogance, destroy the loving kindness. Unconditionally We need to radiate even those who we don't like. May they be well. May they be happy. May they be peaceful. May all beings, whether we like or not, all are equal. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. It is not only to those who we like, those who we respect, only we love or radiate the loving kindness, metta. We radiate the loving kindness to equally the people who we do not like. We, in any form, we do not give our anger, our dislikeness into them. Slowly noticing the breath in. Slowly noticing the breath out. And sit 1 minute in silence before we finish our meditation. Bringing our palms jointly together. Slowly open the eyes. Let the light slowly come in. And remain this beautiful calmness in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your speech all the time. When we go to bed with this state of peaceful mind, we are certainly having a very good sleep. We will wake up very good. Soon we wake up, practice few minutes of breathing meditation, loving kindness meditation, at least few minutes before we start the day. That will make the whole day very calm and happy. So let us share our blessing by saying 3 times together. Sadhu. 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 Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining today and see you next week.
Bye.
Teron Sarnai Hamdurne.
Teruwan saranai hamdruwane.
Teruwan saranai hamdurane.
Sarnai, thank you.
Teruwan saranai hamdurane.
Teruwan Sarnai.
Teruwan saranai.
Teruwan Sarnai.